I've been getting fucking spam calls relentlessly every single day since I don't know when. Basically, when I got my phone turned back on, it stopped for a minute, but then it picked right back up. Before that, it was even worse. But I realized it's because my voicemail greeting was just the standard, you know. But I changed it. Actually, I recently changed it, and now it's not the default. It's this.
Hello, hello. Is anyone there? Hello. Just kidding.
I'll cut it right there. The rest I can't play, unfortunately. Not on this fucking, you know, not on this goddamn platform. But if I mute, in doing so, I'm hoping to cut those calls down to an absolute minimum or just zero. I mean, I really cannot fucking stand them. They need to fuck off. They need to disappear completely. Leaving a greeting like that might work. I don't know. You know, I am a scientist, so I like to do little experiments here and there. This is one of them. We'll see if it is effective. And if that's the case, then I'll spread the word. And I'll get other people to do the same that are sick and tired of hearing that bullshit or just having their phones blow up. Not literally, but you know. With these goddamn spam calls. These fucking robots leaving messages on my shit about whatever. It's usually some fucking bullshit offer. Like they talk about loans, which they will never give me. I don't give a fuck what they promise or how much bullshit they want to say. It's it's not happening. I know for a fact because when I've talked to legitimate lenders, they would straight up just tell me, "Yeah, no, your credit is in no way, shape, or form anything close to what we can, I guess, deem you worthy to give you money," which is fine. I don't need a fucking loan. I was in a shitty position where it would have really helped my. But most of these so called lenders are literally just fucking fake ass um, call centers full of pieces of shit who just want to steal your banking information. That's really all it is. And do what with it? I have no fucking idea. Oh, they can see you're this and you're that. Okay. But are they going to take my money that I don't have? No. And they couldn't. So, one thing's for certain though, since this is an educational stream, I'm going to let you know. Never give up your account name and or password to your bank account. If you're about to get a loan, your account number and routing number, that's kind of necessary. Anything beyond that, tell them to literally go fuck themselves. That's all you need to know about that. And if They get offended. Oh, how could you say that, sir? Like, please stick your fucking head in an oven. Why don't you do that if you're so hurt? Don't worry, you won't feel pain anymore after the fact. Tell them that. Tell them I told you. Tell them good old DB Cooper let you know the facts on how this shit works. Alright? I'm so fucking sick and tired of these cocksuckers. These pieces of shit that deserve worse than death, as far as I'm concerned. Am I wrong for that sentiment? No, not at all. Not even a not really, just not whatsoever. Take that however the fuck you want. I could not care less. In fact, give me a call. Find out how much I care. Oh no, I wasn't talking to you directly, Clove. You're good, don't worry. You're not the one spamming my phone with bullshit calls about loans that'll never fall through, that are literally just trying to steal my bank account information. For whatever reason, they assume I'm just willing to give that shit away, which I am not at all. Tell me about it. In fact, I had somebody not too long ago, pretty recently, on this platform right here, where you're at. Uh, they wanted to contact me through WhatsApp, right? So, okay. And I don't know why they don't want to talk service. So I just figure, let's see. And they're telling me some bullshit. They're such and such, and they're looking for this and that, sending long ass texts. And I'm just like, okay, playing along, basically. Until the point where they start saying, here's my login information, which they sent to me to a certain banking website, which I looked up and is obvious bullshit. It's like a scam site as well. For, I don't know, they say it's for investing and shit like that and holding money when really there's no way to withdraw it, as far as I know. I should have tried just to see, but I didn't. I'm not here to scam anybody, but I'm also not gonna fucking fall for that shit. So fuck around. Either that same night or the next day, they're telling me I will email you a check. Just make a deposit into this bullshit account, or give me your email and your password, so shit like that. And me, I'm thinking to myself, like, wow, I know this isn't the fucking person they're saying they are. I know it's some bullshit, made up, fictitious entity that's trying to, I guess, appeal to my humanity, right? Of which I have none, unfortunately for them. Yeah, no, it is true. You got to be careful. But the way they try to pull these scams is like next level retarded sometimes. Like, assuming I don't know you can produce a voice using AI, which is so obvious what it sounded like. But, I still play along. Tell them, yeah, wow, you have a sexy voice, this and that. totally not generated by ChatGPT or some bullshit. And I don't know if they're still messaging me, but just have been ignoring them. There are there are some reasons to chat elsewhere, but specifically, what I've noticed is on WhatsApp. You know that app where you could basically talk to people. You do like free calls and shit like that. Is more often than not they are scamming or trying to scam you. I've had this shit happen multiple times. And they're always trying to get you to send money in some way, shape, or form. Like a few months before that, somebody was telling me all this shit, pretending to be somebody else, which I looked them up. Like, this is a legitimate person that exists, but this person is trying to use their identity in order to scam me. And they're always trying to get you to send money through some way. They're telling me, oh, this package with such and such amount of money and shit won't clear customs unless you send us $1,000. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, okay, yeah, no, even if I had the money, which I didn't at the time, like I do now. If they were to hit me up right now and say, hey, send us money, I could, but that doesn't mean I'm going to. It's very simple. Ugh. They can make whatever promises they want. They can claim to be who or whatever, but I'm not falling for that shit. My thing here is, you know, I just like to chill, have some fun, sometimes spice things up a bit. Not for the YouTube stream, though. I would have to cut that off if I were getting into some other things. But other than that, it's like, I keep it pretty lax. And like I said, the main thing is having fun. I mean, making money on top of it. I'm very well, like, I'm very open to making money on whatever platform I happen to be on. But the most important thing is I like to have fun. So that's my main reason for being here. It's just something I enjoy doing. And specifically on this platform, the amount of freedoms they give you, compared to others, like the name I that which must not be named platform that I'm still banned from, i.e., CB. I'm not gonna say the name, but you know, the amount of freedoms you get here compared to there is like so much better. Mind you, I did have a, I guess, a decent following. I didn't have a crazy amount of followers, but the ones, my regulars and newcomers that did go to my room, I, I made enough money to basically pay my bills while I was out of work for months, which is nice, you know, being able to not necessarily sit on my ass all the time. But like during that time frame, I was doing other things, still looking for work. Does it say librarians? I can't. Wait, what does that say? Oh, I read that wrong. My bad. I mean, I do that with oil. I'll do that with oil, but I don't just pour it. Like, I feel like that's a waste. I don't just pour it on the floor or somewhere else. I use it on myself. So you might be interested to see something like that. Massage oil? I guess you could say that. I'll actually show you. It's this right here. Organic evening primrose oil. Extra virgin unrefined oil. It's actually very good for your skin as well. One thing I noticed though, if I leave it on overnight or for an extended period on certain areas, it's like I'm not sure if it's beneficial or if it's doing something detrimental. And I don't have an allergic reaction to it, but I feel like it causes more itchiness than I should probably expect. I don't know if that has anything to do with pores being clogged or whatnot, but like I just like to keep a small, thin layer more often than not. I don't just lather things up with it, I guess you could say. Unless I'm in the process of, using it for that purpose. Well, it's more sensitive skin, which is what I think is the issue. Whereas if I were to keep it on my hands, it's like not a problem, no issue. But, certain areas of your body, your skin is typically more sensitive. Like, let's say I shave my face and my head, which I have recently, pretty much bald all the way down. I can go without any, itching, irritation, or whatever. Whereas if I shave a different part of my body, for the next few days, I will be itching like crazy for whatever reason. I'm not even sure why that happens, but it does sometimes. Even when I sanitize the razor with alcohol or wash it soap and water, still has that potential to cause itchiness or discomfort. You'd have to be more specific. Party favors. I'm not entirely sure what you mean. Hold on. I just really hope my new voicemail greeting gets rid of those spam callers. No, that's the wrong voice. That's not the greeting, but it is using that voice. So I really hope that doesn't cause any problems as far as my YouTube stream goes. Because I know they have a very deep hatred for that character for specific reasons, I guess you could say. Not the McDonald's mascot, mind you, but you know, the one Farkle pretty much made famous. Shouts out to him. Farkle made me racist, yo. Everybody different things. I really like this UV flashlight. What I don't like about it though is knowing that when I use it on my face, I can see every last bit of, you know, whiteheads, blackheads, or oil stuck in my pores, and it lights up orange and shit, and I can see all that, and it just bothers me because I know part of me doesn't care. It's like whatever, I wash my face, but it's not enough. Even with exfoliating gloves that I use daily, it's still not enough. I don't want to have to be constantly putting pore strips on my face, which work pretty well. I've used them before, but it's like, how much do I want to be spending on skincare when the end result is the shit just keeps coming back? I could try changing my diet too, but even so, it's like, it's not a guarantee. It's just an ongoing battle. It's like never ending. Trying to keep your pores clean of any and all debris or oil or fucking, I guess, pus, you could say. That's basically what it is. You know, whiteheads, blackheads. It's just pores clogged with pus. Which bothers me to an extent, but not enough for me to go out and buy every last skincare product to try to prevent it. Like, if there were a surefire way to fucking get rid of that shit for good, I might look into it. That's the thing about the whole idea behind corrections. Yeah, don't worry about it. I have no problem with whoever wants to watch. It does not bother me. Like, I know I appeal to whatever demographic, certain people, and I'm pretty open. Like, I don't mind whoever wants to watch. But man, if I were still able to enjoy certain things, like I was a few months back, these streams would be a lot different. Let me tell you. Might be even funner, but all in good time. You know, it's not like it's gonna last forever. Probably have less than a year to go as far as paying off these fines and paying to have somebody watch me piss, I guess you could say. Which fucking sucks, but at the same time, it's not as bad as what I have been through. Because certain places do it their own way. Like the place I do it now, they have mirrors set up so it's not as intrusive. Whereas beforehand, like 10 years ago or so, a little bit more than 10 years ago, they were literally just standing right next to you at the urinal staring at your fucking dick the whole time. And this is before I did any of this shit or even showed, you know, my member to anybody on camera or in person. But still, in order to stay out of certain places, a place that I fucking hate, like, you just have to deal with it. It's not forever though. So I would say stay tuned. It'll get real interesting. And thank you. I appreciate you saying that. But for whatever reason, this doesn't look level to me, but it is. I mean, as much as it can be, I guess. Not that it bothers me, but it's just something I like to keep leveled out. This little tapestry behind me, which is pretty funny because I was on Facebook Marketplace the other day looking just randomly through things, and I saw the same exact tapestry as this one right here. But I'm pretty sure it was a lot smaller, more like the size of a sheet of computer paper, maybe smaller than that. Whereas this one is, I don't know. I'm not sure the exact size. I could measure it. I mean, I have tape measures here. These are the good kind. You know what I'm saying? They really help with certain measurements. So, 2 feet tall, which is not bad. And about almost 16 inches wide. There. Obligatory DFOs. Look at that. Though it was kind of half-assed, if I'm being honest. Anytime I'm in that stance, I try to hit one of those. You hear my cat. It's being a brat. Let's see, we have my special guest star on, besides Mr. Malcolm Knight. Back tonight, move in. Pasha, come in, brat. Come here. Up. Good boy. Oh, that's my baby. Oh, my baby boy. Meow. What? What, boy? Come here. Come here. No, he's a baby. He's my little munch. This is my boy. My little Pookie. This is Pasha, aka Pookie Bombs. He's my little baby. I feel like had my family not got him neutered and just let him be, he would have grown a lot bigger. And I'm not even sure what age they decided to do it at, but he stayed pretty small since then. That's why he's my little skinny mini boy. Skinny boy. Skinny boy. And it didn't really make him any less rowdy either. I mean, he will still bite my ass. I'm not sure if it changes personality. Regardless, I love him. And for some reason, he really loves me too. I'm like his favorite person, which is understandable, but I can see why. But would you believe that I'm pretty sure like 11 years old by now, almost 12. He's been around for a minute, this little guy. He's a big boy, even though he's my baby boy. What baby? One thing about him though, he really does not get along with other cats for whatever reason. He could be very territorial at times. Because we do have two cats here, the other one being Nico, who isn't neutered and almost twice the size of this little guy. And I mean, he's not really fat either, but he is built pretty strong. Like, he's got some weight to him. He can tear shit up, I'm pretty sure. And he does. Anytime he goes outside, he'll be missing for a few days, up to a week sometimes. And he'll come back with scratches because he can't not get into fights when he's out there for whatever reason. He's a crazy boy. But this one, he'll fight sometimes with Nico. But most of the time, he's just sort of hissing at him. Like, get away from me. Type deal. But he doesn't really hiss at me. I'd say the most recent time that he actually did was randomly one morning. And I'm not even sure why he did it. But I was just, playing with him before work. This might have been a few weeks ago, I think. And randomly, for whatever reason, he didn't want me touching him, petting him, or anything. And when I tried to, he literally started hissing at me. I don't know why. I still don't know to this day. But the same day I came back that afternoon, he was all loving and, you know, rubbing up against my legs and shit. You know how they do. Little baby kitty. He's my boy. He's very bitey though. If you try petting him in certain places, he will attempt to bite the shit out of you. Or if it's just over stimulation and he doesn't want you touching him anymore, he'll try to scratch and bite you. He's a little crazy boy. Like I said, he's very territorial sometimes. Especially with his own ass. He's like, don't touch me. But for whatever reason, he loves me. He's my baby. Here's one bird. He's beautiful. He's my little Pokemon. Oh, what's who's my Poke? I know people say get your pets spayed or neutered and all that. As far as I recall, Bob Barker was a big, you know, supporter of that whole thing, which makes sense, especially if your pets tend to be outside on their own or go wherever. Try to curb down on the stray population. But I really don't see the point in it if you're just keeping your pets indoors, you know? And I feel like it does more harm than good in that case. And I also think it's kind of useless, if I'm being honest. Because with this little guy here, whatever libido he has still exists, but it's not for like other cats, felines. No, his attraction, for whatever reason, happens to be bedding mostly, like blankets or pillows. In some cases, I think it's been stuffed animals a few times. Like, he will fuck the shit out of those things with like zero remorse. Like, I've caught him fucking my blanket a few times. Which is really gross to witness. I don't know why he does it. I haven't seen him do it in a while. I'm not saying that he doesn't still do it. He probably does, just not while I'm watching. Or while anyone's watching, for that matter. I don't think anybody's seen him do it in a minute. And trust me, you don't want to see that. You don't want to see this little guy mount your blanket, especially in the middle of the night. But there's other reasons why I try to keep him out of my room when I'm not directly watching him, or, you know, he he's sitting with me like this. Because what he likes to do is sneak into my closet. He did this at the apartment before I moved here as well. And I'm pretty sure he did that at a different location where we used to live. Just his thing has always been going into my closet and either using it as a bathroom, or in the case where I was growing plants in a previous apartment I lived in, his number one favorite pastime activity was to start eating them. And it's not just plants that, let's say, I'm growing that he likes to do that to. Anytime he's outside, I will catch him eating grass. And then 15 minutes later, start puking it up. Because he just doesn't have the capacity for learning in that sense, to where he knows it's going to make him sick not too long after, but doesn't give a shit and just goes for it anyways. Makes zero sense to me. Why a cat would want to eat grass. That isn't catnip. I mean, just literal fucking grass in your lawn. That's what he does. Or if it's grass of a different type, like the stuff I used to grow, which I wouldn't call grass. It was much more potent than that. But like, I would catch him so many times biting off fan leaves. One time I had a few plants flowering, and he managed to sneak past me and actually bite off a bud from one of them. It wasn't like, full on week 6 or 8 into flowering. There were only pre-flowers. But still, I saw him do that shit, and I was like, fuck no, you need to get out of here. I had to clip off that whole piece. Because I don't want whatever is in his saliva in his mouth to be transferred onto the plant and potentially ruin a good harvest. But he doesn't know that. He doesn't understand that. He just thinks, oh wow, look at this plant. I'm gonna take a bite. I'm gonna try to eat this. But then never remembers that not too long afterwards, he just gets sick. Not like, you know, not sick to the point where it's gonna hurt him, but he still ends up throwing it up. This little brat. Some days I wish I was still growing. And I probably could, being that I do happen to reside in a state that allows it. As far as I recall, I don't know if these recent reschedulings of, what I was growing at the time, I don't know if that does anything regarding state rights and what liberties we have, allowed by law to be able to grow it within the space of our own house or yard or what have you. I might look into that, but still, I guess that depends on if I feel like doing it all over again, which I totally could. Though then again, I don't know if ordering seeds has been made. Like, can you still? I'm pretty sure there's ways. Like, I'm pretty sure they'll still ship to you, depending on where you live. Because it had Like, you couldn't possess a fucking plant. So stupid. Oh, potential spam. You go straight to voicemail. Have fun listening to my voicemail. Stupid fuck. Anyways, they made possession of that certain plant illegal on a federal level, in any case. But having the seeds was never restricted. You could literally have like pounds of fucking seeds, even if it has the genetics of some real primo shit. It doesn't matter, they're just seeds. Now, with this whole rescheduling thing, I don't know if they made changes to that. If they did, that's kind of fucked up. They shouldn't have bothered with that shit. It's not due to the fact that it's stupid as fuck, which it is, but there's literally nothing they can fucking do about it. You can still order pretty much anything, even if it's restricted at the federal or state level. And you can do this online. I mean, I know the Silk Road has been closed for however many fucking years. Like, that whole business has gone kind of fucked up. More often than not, you might be talking to a Fed or just somebody who's going to steal your money. Unless it's through escrow. Which, then again, I don't know, because I've never bought anything through the dark web or the deep web. As far as I'm aware. I mean, always just use sites that were available on the ClearNet, Clear Web, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But the fact that they want to make laws, however, and deem what you can and cannot possess or purchase is, I mean, I guess this is why I have more of a libertarian stance on shit like that. Either, like, you could be completely fucking draconian with the law and say none of it's allowed. And we see how well prohibition worked. Yeah. I mean, they literally sold you packages of, what was it? Powdered wine, where they would tell you, the package would give you instructions on what not to do. Like, do not add yeast to this and leave in a dark space for a few weeks to ferment. Don't do that, guys. Don't do that. That's the kind of shit they used to sell in Prohibition times, to where you could literally just make your own booze at home, and the government would be none the wiser. And they can just label the shit not for human consumption and be like, oh yeah, you could sell this totally. Oh, it's fertilizer. What is that? JWH? Oh yeah, no, we'll just sell it as fertilizer, not for human consumption. There it is. Or just spray it on the fucking smoking blend and say not for human consumption, even though it's literally packaged for you to smoke it. And they'll just sell it at gas stations and smoke shops. But we saw what happened with that. You know, thank you, Federal Analog Act, for fucking that up for everybody. Now you have shit like fentanyl taking over, which is literally impossible to stop because the Chinese are never going to stop producing that shit. and it's going to keep flooding the streets regardless of what the fuck the DEA or any other agency has to say or do about it. There's nothing they can do about it. In fact, I would go so far as to say they are completely complicit with it being manufactured and sold. They probably get a cut, but who am I to say, you know? As if they don't get a cut on everything else through the federal government. Like, how does this shit get here? They let it through. You can only bust so many different shipping containers or trucks or however the fuck they're getting it into the country. Whereas there's 100 more that already passed, that already cleared customs, that already went right under your fucking noses. Or you are paid to look the other way, which is a total possibility. You can't just assume law enforcement isn't complicit in this shit. They're just as corrupt as anyone else. You know, they are human after all. We can't all be Diali Bar, but hey, that's just me, right? Good old DB Cooper. Anyways, like I said, sometimes my streams are educational. The more you know. Don't be so baby. I smile that all very bad boy. I smile that a baby boy. Don't you get scratchy with me, you little shit. I'll beat your ass. It's my baby. I'm not gonna be besides. I'm just gonna. He likes to be rubbed under the chin. It's one of his favorites. Or the head rubs. Like this. Scratch behind his ears. Back of his neck. He's my beautiful boy. I love this little shit. You're just chilling today, huh? For whatever reason, he really does enjoy spending time with me, which is cool. I'm the same way. I enjoy his company, except for when he decides to try to sneak into my closet. Because if he's not trying to use it as a separate, litter box, I don't know what the fuck he's up to. All right, let's see. Love you, boy. I guess he got his fill of attention for the day. Which may be for the best. I really should do my strength training. Took the day off yesterday from that. And not necessarily because I'm still sore, which I am still just a bit. Not enough to stop me, but it's like I'm not trying to rush results, even though I do go with intensity when I train. I mean, there's times where I literally don't stop. I'll go for maybe 20, 30 minutes straight with no breaks, no rest. Because once I'm done, I mean, with the set, not done training, period, but like let's say I do something like pull downs or deadlifts or some other muscle group, I just switch on to the next one and then start working that. And then once I tire out from that part, I'll switch to another group. But I just keep going with like zero breaks in between. I'm not sure if that's a good thing, or some people say overtraining is worse for you. I don't believe it's overtraining though, because typically what I like to do, instead of focusing on one group or the other, I try to get a full body workout, either every one, like I'll do it for that day, skip a day, not skip, but like rest the next day, and then pick it back up the day after, or the day after that. It just depends on how I'm feeling. You know, I try to keep it pretty simple. But that's not to say I don't go at it with some intensity, because there's a reason I'm sore afterward. It's not because I'm not adjusted or accustomed to it. I've only just started getting back into it. But when I train, I go hard. I don't bullshit. I really do push myself. Maybe not as much as I was, but I am trying to get back to that. So, we'll see. I have noticed some results. Yeah, nothing crazy, but little by little. But it is important. You know, keep yourself active, stay fit. I do believe it's key to staying healthy. But I do also believe in rest days and taking breaks. Maybe not during the workout, but like, I mean, even then, sometimes, like beforehand, I was doing it that way. But that's when I was going after certain muscle groups on different days. Whereas if I'm doing the full body thing, which is what I've been working on now, I don't see the point. I'll go from one exercise to the next one, which is working a different muscle group or part of my body. Just because I like to stay constantly moving. I don't know, maybe that's just me. And hey, maybe I'm wrong for that. Maybe I should take breaks in between sets. I've actually heard or read somewhere that taking the 90-second breaks in between sets isn't as effective as taking a 3-minute break or something along those lines, which is only twice the amount of time. But I guess you're giving your muscles more chance to recover during the workout, so you could get those extra little reps in. Maybe, maybe it does work better that way. You know, but I still like to push myself, see how far I can go sometimes, but not to risk injury. And regardless of the fact that I do go with intensity, I don't skip rest days. It's very important to let your body heal. And nutrition plays a huge factor in that, as does rest. And what I've noticed is I've been taking naps more frequently than what I used to. Not because I'm lazy, but just because I do get tired sometimes randomly during the day. And if I feel like it, you know, I'll take a few hours, maybe three, wake back up, and then my main reason for taking naps, though, if I ever really need to take one, is for whatever reason, for me, it's like an instant headache cure. If I'm having some form of a headache or migraine or whatever, if I manage to get a few hours, sometimes not even that much, but like I'll take a nap, I'll wake up, and that shit's gone. It's like the best cure, aside from proper hydration and depending on your level of caffeine intake, staying, you know, keeping that adequate. Because caffeine withdrawal is very real. I really don't care what anybody tries to tell you. Otherwise, they could say, "Oh, there's no such thing. Like caffeine is just bullshit. Like you can't withdraw from it." No, yes, you fucking can. Main reason why people get cold or flu-like symptoms and headaches and things of that nature, more often than not, is because of caffeine withdrawal. Like, let's say you're going heavy at it, you know, drinking multiple coffees every day, strong ones, or Red Bulls, or whatever they are. And then let's say you just take you know, a break, just cold turkey, cut it out. There's a good chance it's going to cause headaches or some kind of fucking strain, not just on your mind, but on your body as well. It really does happen. I know it firsthand, which is why I don't consume that much caffeine on any given day. But sometimes I do push that, where I'll drink up to 4 Red Bulls or more in a day. Not all at once, though. You know, I space it out throughout the day, and I still stay hydrated along with those drinks. But nutrition is pretty much key in promoting recovery. Supplements do help as well. In fact, I've only just recently gotten back into the supplements game, I guess you could say. But that has mainly to do with my other workouts, not necessarily the strength training. Let me just mute YouTube for a second. Anyways, fuck YouTube. I don't know if I'm allowed to say those things on there, so I'd rather just mute it and be rather safe than sorry. I guess you could call them long johns. I don't think they would fall into the category of boxers or briefs. I think I got these pajama pants, but underneath, just a thin layer of fabric. But that's only something I do in the wintertime. The reason being that I get very fucking cold. It is currently 12 degrees Fahrenheit where I'm at, I think. At least that's what this is saying. Yeah, that's the city I'm in. Well, what did that say about $2,000 stimulus checks? Hold on. Go back. February. I don't know when the last time stimulus checks even came out, but I feel like I missed a few of them. I remember that $1,200 one however many years ago. Oh, yeah. No, the snow is definitely a pain in the ass. Especially where I'm at now, because people on this side of town, they don't know how to drive when it's raining, let alone snowing. And that shit gets very annoying. I mean, the second there's a few inches of precipitation, whether it be rain or snow or what have you, people lose their ability to drive, which they practically don't possess in the first place, because most of them drive like shit. And for whatever reason, everybody likes to use their high beams over here, which is also very annoying. Which is the main reason I got these curtains, these blackout curtains, which work very well. They're fucking great. Because the problem I had before was where my room is currently. There's a road directly across the street from me where they drive straight, and if they end up making a left turn, their headlights would go right through my windows and beam right off my wall. And mind you, these walls are, I don't know if they're white necessarily, maybe more of a beige tone, but still, anytime I would be trying to sleep, that shit would reflect all over the place and interrupt me. I would see every single person, basically, through their headlights. Which is annoying as fuck when you're trying to get some sleep. But with these curtains that I got through Amazon, that's no longer an issue. And to even step it up further, I got me one of these. Silk sleep mask. Also covers the ears slightly. And it's very comfortable. Helps tremendously. The combination is just can't beat it. Also the door sweep that I put in, which blocks any and all light coming through the bottom of the door. That little gap, I don't see any light through that. I mean, maybe through the seams sometimes, which is minimal at most. But let's say I would do this, right? Shut off that thing for a moment and do this. I can only see a slight amount of light through the frame of the door, but not by much. To be honest, I can't even see my hand in front of my face right now. And the only light that comes through those windows over there is due to the space that the curtain rods are from the window, which is a few inches, so it lets a little bit of reflecting light come in through, but it's just a thin line at that wall.
Bluetooth mode.
So my setup is a lot better than what I started with. I'll say that much. Because beforehand it wasn't this good. It was like headlights beaming through constantly, driving me crazy at night. Now I don't feel the need to shine lights back in that direction as they're beaming at me, which I won't admit to doing. I don't want to. That's not something I would do anyways. I mean, come on. They're just trying to, you know, go to work or something. I don't know. Maybe they're just having a drive. Maybe they just feel like being in their car, going out for a spin. But the way I have it set up now is pretty damn good. What would make it perfect is on one of the windows over on this side where it's not much of an issue, I actually put up blinds. So there's blinds constantly closed and the blackout curtains in combination with that. So I never see anything peek through there. Now, if I were to put them on those two windows, that little line of light that happens to be in that corner of the room, that would be gone entirely. Not to mention having the added the curtains. If you refer to one of my previous streams called No More Light Pollution, that's when I merely started adding these things. I didn't have it to the extent which I do now. But it was a good start, and it definitely benefited. It's made my sleep that much more restful. And given the fact that I'm not smoking currently, I mean, not even cigarettes. I quit smoking cigarettes more than a few weeks ago. I mean, I still vape nicotine, but it's not really as damaging. Not as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, typically what happens when I stop smoking a certain plant is I start remembering dreams a lot more vividly. And it's actually been really fun lately. Like, I think it was yesterday when I woke up in the morning. I had a dream that I saw Danny DeVito. I shit you not. And he actually called me out by my name. He said, Zep. And I look, I'm like, who the fuck? And it's Danny DeVito just standing there. And he said something else along the lines of, tell them you saw me or something. Like, or I saw you. And I'm shouting out to him as he's walking away, we have to take a picture together. Wait. And not even 5 minutes after that, I ended up seeing Paul Rubens with, I don't know if it was his assistant or what, but somebody was tagging along with him. And for whatever reason, he was in his Pee Wee Herman getup, complete with the haircut, shaved face, and everything. Like he looked exactly like Pee Wee Herman did back in the days. And I'm just like, what the fuck? I was starstruck though. I didn't even realize I was dreaming at the time. Though I've been able to notice and somewhat control that. You know, what they call lucid dreaming. I've been getting better with that. Also remembering them because I'm not smoking. Whereas if I am smoking, which was like a daily thing for me when I was, I don't remember shit. Especially not from my dreams. I mean, stuff in my day to day activities, my short term memory, it's not, you know, that negatively affected. Like, I can still remember certain things, though I do happen to forget more than I remember in most cases. But as far as dreams go, fucking nothing, no recollection. I wake up like nothing happened. Like I can't even remember falling asleep, entering that state, let alone anything that happened during it. But that's not to say it's impossible to remember your dreams if you are constantly smoking. I'm sure some people are able to remember. I guess I'm just not one of those people. And it might be like, what's better? Because it's not that I don't get restful sleep if whether I remember my dreams or not, but it's like, what would you rather have? Being able to smoke would be nice, though I'm not able to, which is the main reason that I'm not doing it. But if I were able to, sometimes I think like, would it be better to, or is it better to remember what happens while I'm resting and have the potential to literally control things like I was last night or this morning rather. I had some fucking weird ones. In one of them, I was in a place, like a restaurant type place, and they had a bunch of coolers, where they'll keep drinks that they're selling. There had to be at least a dozen of them. There's like 3 on one wall, 8 more on the other, and I'm looking through all of them. And for whatever reason, it's mostly cans. Some bottles, but like, it's mostly cans, and almost 90% of the drinks available there happen to be alcohol or have alcohol in them, which even that I'm not able to enjoy at the moment. Whatever. It's not that big of a deal for me. But the fact of the matter is, I was very thirsty in the dream, and I'm looking through every single cooler, like, what the fuck? Alright, that's alcohol, can't drink it, can't drink it, can't drink it. And when I came to the drinks that I was able to consume, every single can or bottle was already opened. All of them. There was not one that was still sealed, closed, or otherwise. They were all fucking open. It almost drove me crazy. And I was basically locked in this place and almost forced to do labor, which I ended up just not doing for whatever reason. I think I managed to escape somehow, which is for the best. It was the weirdest looking place too. The setup was all fucked up. But I had a much better one after that. I think I'm not sure exactly what happened, but for whatever reason, the police were after me and they were trying to catch me. And I managed to slip, you know, get right out of their grasp. And I was making a break for it. I ended up getting away. And as I was getting away, I'm thinking to myself, if I keep running, they're probably going to catch me. And I think I was in some kind of apartment complex or something like that, maybe condos, who knows. And I look and I see a room that's on like, there's like a big tree, and then there's the unit next to it. And then I look in and I see a dark room, and it looks like there's nobody occupying it. But in order to access it, I had to go through a window. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, let's just see if it opens. So I end up opening it, and I'm like, okay, cool. I sneak into the room, just a random fucking apartment unit. I had no idea who lived there. I didn't even know if anybody did live there, but there was furnishing, so I mean, you could assume somebody is currently living there just based off that. It was a pretty nice room, kind of spacious. Had some nice furniture. It was a bedroom, I'm pretty sure. I mean, there was a bed in there, so. And I don't know if it was the master bedroom or whatever, but there was a bathroom connected to it. And for whatever reason, I think I was like muddy or dirty or something was going on. So I end up going into the bathroom and I'm about to go take a shower. But I remember I had to piss very bad. So before I did that, I started pissing. And as I was doing that, I'm thinking to myself, like, how am I pissing this much? Is this a dream? So I look at my hand, which is one of the tests you can do. There's little things called reality checks, where like you try closing your eyes or imagine yourself flying, or you look at your hands, which is almost more often than not a sure way of telling whether or not you are dreaming. So I look at my left hand and I see that it's all fucked up. It's still the same amount of fingers as usual. This one other time that I tried doing that, I saw like 7 fingers, and I'm like, okay, I'm definitely dreaming. This time it wasn't as obvious, but at the same time, it was pretty fucking obvious. And from that point on, I was like, okay, cool, I'm dreaming right now. But I still had to piss for whatever reason. I don't know if that's because I actually had to piss. And I'm fucking like basically urinating all over this bathroom at this point. I mean, it's getting all over the floors and shit. It's almost flooding the place. So I decide to run the shower and hop in, which I do. And I'm not going to say what happens after that. That's committed to my memory. You don't need to know. It gets pretty fucking graphic though. And somebody does eventually find me there. In fact, a few people. One of which, you know, ends up trying to do something about it. But let's just say things don't end well for him. And I'll leave it at that. was able to manifest a certain power, I guess you could say, in order to deal with them, which I totally did. But I will say this, it was fucking awesome. That's one of the funnest dreams I've had in a minute. It was very lucid, and the fact that I was able to remember it so well makes me think, hey, maybe it's not so bad not being able to, smoke like I was. There's little benefits, I guess you could say, to sobriety. But at the same time, ooh-wee, oh boy, what I wouldn't give to be able to roll up a fat ass blunt and just smoke it right here on the street. Wouldn't that be fun? Not that it's necessary. It's just something that I enjoy doing. But I also do enjoy being able to remember my dreams and have some control over them. Especially the amount of control I had last night. That shit was awesome. But where I'm at, it's almost 7 p.m. The 1900 hour. If I'm going to start training, which I definitely want to, though it's not a complete necessity as far as strength training goes, I could take another day off. It's not that big a deal if I do. But if I were to do that, I would have to start that within the hour, I'd say. So as I'm not too pumped to where I can't fall asleep for longer than I should be able to. Also, there's the matter of the shower and the other exercise that I do there specifically, which I won't go into because YouTube likes to, flag certain things. So I'm not going to go into that. But hey, if you're lucky, maybe you'll get to witness that. It's not on YouTube. Only on here. I really like the door sweep that I installed because it really muffles the sound from out there pretty well. And I'm pretty sure the sound that I produce is somewhat muffled as well. Works great both ways. Referencing that awesome ass dream that I had, I do have to take a piss, unfortunately. And as far as I know, there's no service you're allowed to do that on and show. So I'm just going to pause. Maybe cut it for now. I might be back later, who knows. In the meantime, though, go Jelly Bar.